Joe Flacco's on the Jets.
Nate's interviewing her about our new fragrance.
Right. Extra. Joe Flacco was not messing around last night. He said, I'm turning back the clock. I don't care if you think it looks weird in a Jets jersey. I'm going for a touchdown. Rashad Perriman, 50-yarder. That exact pose, I've seen that, running down the field with the arm up. It was a really cool throwback. And this was just a really cool throw. Look at this, Jamison Crowder. Are you kidding me? Nate had this all over toe drag swag earlier in the show. It's a really beautiful one, isn't it, Nate?
It really is. Well, why didn't we pick it for toe drag swag? People are lighting me up online saying we should have picked this one for the winner this week. But we gave it to CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, CeeDee Lamb's was good, too. This was like just short of Tyler Lockett 10.
You're right.
Tyler Lockett is
I also love it when the refs call it incomplete and then have to tail between their legs, be like, I actually caught it.
Love that, huh?
Upon further review. Exactly right. Flacco.
Clap back!
That's right. Clap back. Look out. Flacco going again for a touchdown. Rashad Perriman.
Is Flacco back?
Flacco might be back. I did see that the word elite was trending last night on Twitter. It has to when you come to him. Fourth quarter, 27-20. Flacco, this is the problem. He wanted one more bomb, didn't he? He said, dial it up again, and it got picked off. That's the fifth interception by J.C. Jackson, leading the Niffle. So Joe Flacco makes a big mistake. Cam Newton comes out, completion to Damiere Byrd. He's going to try to house this thing. Reverses his field. It's one of those plays where Next Gen tells us he runs 300 yards and gains 6. He did not gain 6 points, though, because he misses the pylon or steps out of bounds. So Cam up the middle. Is Cam Newton going to steal this thing? Heavy drama as JBJ, or the Joves, as Peter calls it, in Peterstrom, New Jersey, looking on. Are the Jets going to get a win? This is the best shot they may have all year. But Cam says, nope. I'm going to set this thing up for about a 50-yard
It's a huge play. If they don't complete that pass, they're punting, they're going to overtime. It's a big play.
This has massive ramifications. This could affect the draft right here. And Nick Folk, the ex-Jet in MetLife, splits it. Center cut. Pats win. Jets lose. 0-9. New England still alive in the AFC playoff hunt. The Jets still in the driver's seat for the #1 overall pick. Bad news in Duval County, if that's the way you roll. 30-27 Patriots. Afterwards, Bill Belichick, glowing, talking about, we just got to keep working one day at a time.
Is the hope that this kind of game and this kind of fourth quarter can serve as a confidence boost for you guys?
Yeah, we just got to keep working. Just take it 1 week at a time. So, I don't think the team lacks confidence. We have to just coach better, play better. Let's keep working and keep grinding. I think we'll have better results.
Nate with an incredible comment that he looks like Wilson from Home Improvement, just seeing his face over the fence there. The Binford version of the Patriots last night in a win over the Jets, from an old rivalry, though, in this AFC East to a division clash in the NFC West that's coming up here in Week 10. The Seahawks have lost 2 of the last 3. They have the Rams on Sunday. Both Seattle and LA are right in the middle of this thing, guys, right? This is the playoff picture we're looking at. The Seahawks are still in first place. Their defense is on pace to give up more yards than any other team in the Super Bowl era. Can the Seahawks still win the NFC playing the way they've been playing?
No, not playing the way they've been playing.
That's another Wilson, Nate, looking at the Super Bowl field like that.
Yeah, you ain't lying. He might be looking from his home if they keep playing like this, because that wasn't a Super Bowl team that just got smacked up by the Bills. Can they still win the division and have a playoff run and get to Tampa and win a Super Bowl? Yeah, because there is still time. And I said this recently about every team that lost this weekend. The Buccaneers as well. If you have a game like this in the middle of the season, you still have the rest of the season to correct it. For Russell Wilson and Seattle Seahawks, we know that Russell Wilson is going to be good. He's not going to have too many games where he's throwing the ball away. He's not one of those individuals that we look at and expect him to turn over the rock. But that defense, just like you said, they have to fix it. We saw Jamal Adams back on the field. Did he make that much of a difference?
Stephon Diggs was crossing him up.
Yeah, so the question is, with all the pieces, the new additions that they recently have, are they going to be able to correct it before the season ends? So to answer your question the very long-winded way, yes, they have time. I have faith that this is the best team in the NFC West, but the Arizona Cardinals are coming.
Yeah.
Arizona Cardinals, they played the Rams this weekend. You think McVay's been on a bye? McVay's drawing it up, watching his defense, probably cackling on the couch. Like, are you serious?
That's a good point.
Nate, it's historically bad. This defense, like historically bad. Let's see one of the full screens that we've drafted up with our research crew here. Just how bad this defense has been through 9 weeks. If you could see this, most yards allowed per game in the history of the sport. the Seahawks are that bad. It's not even like it's by 1 or 2. You're not winning a Super Bowl with this defense. You're not. Russell Wilson has been unbelievable. He's in Superman every single week, and they're losing by double digits in some of these games. Most pass yards allowed first 8 games. Guys, that's not by 100 yards. That's nearly by 400 passing yards. It is so bad that I think if they haven't looked to address it yet, like what do we... They brought in Dunlap. They brought in Jamal Adams. They got Damon Harrison. They've done all... And yet, I'm still watching on a 3rd and 16, an all-out blitz, and John Brown scoring the touchdown. Like, I don't know what is going on, and quite frankly, no. The NFC is too good. You're not going to win games 55-53 every week and hope that Russell Wilson pulls a rabbit out of his hat. So, straight up, no. And use this on freezing cold takes. I don't think you can be offended as a Seahawks fan for telling you that the defense has been terrible and it hasn't been fixed. They were bad in week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, and Nate, we've been saying, oh, it's got time. We've got time. We've got time. That was the worst performance I've seen all week from a defense. I saw Stephon Diggs put Jamal Adams in the spin cycle.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why is Jamal Adams even covering Stephon Diggs?
Yeah.
They're not good right now. They have to fix it. And the Rams are coming. And trust me, McVay's been brewing and ready to go.
You know how when the wrestlers will go into a ring and get a steel chair? That's like you with the full screen, Peter. If Peter goes to the full screen, you're about to get hurt.
Let's go.
That was
got
a
research.
painful
John King of the full screen.
Exactly.
It kind of is, Peter. You just dropped it. And you're right. The sort of silver lining, they're saying, oh, maybe this could be something. And this doesn't show up in the highlights. They sacked Josh Allen 7 times in that game. It's impressive. And Dunlap was involved in it, and Adams was involved in it. And maybe the defense gets hot or gets more cohesive. The problem is with Seattle, I don't think they can win the Super Bowl with this defense. I think, like I said about the Packers teams, we've seen a million very good Aaron Rodgers teams are not good enough to win it all. I feel like we're seeing another Russell Wilson team that's very good, not enough to win it all. Especially since, remember, there's only one team's going to get a bye this year. It's a whole new deal.
Cool.
So unless they get the number 1 seed, they're going to win 4 playoff games with this defense? That's tough. Yes, Nate?
I feel like you guys are being dramatic, though. Like you guys are being dramatic.
Okay,
the question is, can they win the NFC? But if you want to take it that far to a Super Bowl, fine. You keep saying, historically bad. Strays. Okay,
He's got
that's
questions
fine.
about the West.
Okay, listen. In 2017.
Research before the show. What did you do? Let me hear.
Okay.
You said,
I'll throw some research back at you. In 2017, when we were doing this show, you got on the show and said the Patriots are historically bad. This defense is historically bad. And they were. They were 29th in the league. They went to the Super Bowl.
Bad.
They went to the Super Bowl. No, they were at one point historically bad. They were like, if they keep this pace up, they'll be one of the worst defenses ever. They were 29th in the league, which is one of the worst. What happened that year? They made it to a Super Bowl. Okay, they lost in that Super Bowl, but all I'm saying is there's time to correct it.
It's possible.
If this was week 16, then it's a different question.
That's won the Super Bowl with a bottom 5 defense. It was the 2011 Giants. It's the only team that's ever done it. So it can be done. I will say, you bring up Jamal Adams, Dunlap, with Jamal Adams on the field, they're giving up 100 more yards a game with Jamal Adams on the field with the way they're using him. I ask you then, Nate, is there an adjustment that they can make on defense to say that it's not too late? Give me some hope in what they can do on defense to make this better.
Well, they got a mesh. They have new players. I mean, really, let's keep it real. Jamal Adams is a new player. He played briefly before he got hurt. He's been out with a groin.
100 more yards a game.
Yeah, he's only been on the field a couple of times this year. So he's still a new Seahawk. He needs to learn the system. They need to learn how to play with him. And also, you have Dunlap and Snacks that need to learn what they're doing within that defense. Yeah, there's time to adjust. But the NFC West is good. I'm not saying that they aren't. I'm just saying that they have time to correct it, Schrager.
Yeah, Russell Wilson is so good that I think they can still make a run here, but the defense has to get better.
They have to, for sure.
Russell Wilson was awesome against the Bills. I know they had turnovers, but like he had that deep pass to Moore. They could hit you so quickly it was such a huge dynamic play that I think they might be better than any other team on offense.
Yeah, and DJ Dallas stepped in good for Chris Carson being out.
Yeah.
They have guys.
The offense is there. The offense is maybe the best.
That's not the worry.
That's
not the worry for you.
There's a lot of good offenses.
But what a shame it would be if this team doesn't do anything this year because their defense is a complete sieve.
If Russell Wilson shows up in a playoff game and let's say he's very going to lose. Like, he has to be miraculously good. That makes sense. Think about it, if the playoffs started this weekend, look at this pass. They're going to play the Rams or Cardinals, and then after that, they're going to play the Bucks or Packers, and then they're going to have to play the Saints. And it's a relentless juggernaut. And when your team gives up 40 points, one of those games, you're like, sorry, I only put up 37. I guess we'll go on vacation now. It's too hard on Russ.
The crazy thing is, it's like Pete is a defensive coach.
Right.
Ken Norton's been there forever.
Did you hear what Pete said after the game? He said, I don't recognize my team.
He also said, blame the 3rd and 16 all-out blitz on me. I called it. So, I don't know what's happening there.
Desperation.
That's desperation. And historically bad.
Is Cam Chancellor and Earl Thomas available? Like,
don't laugh.
The Legion of Boom
Earl
back?
Thomas is available.
Tostitos commercial. I have nachos.
We get the Legion of Boom back.
Earl Thomas is available.
They might want to make that call.
Ooh, he is available at GMFB. That would be weird. We've got Mike Garafolo here with us. We're talking playoffs. Who's going to be, who's in, who's out. You're talking about a historic year. It's a historically strange year in the NFL. We've already seen some schedule changes, Mike, because of COVID-19. Welcome to the show, by the way. But the NFL is voting today on a contingency plan for those playoffs. What does that look like?
That's correct, Kay. Now, let's be clear. The schedule's been affected, but every game has been played and accounted for so far. That's number one. Number two, if all 256 games this season are played, or if every game that affects playoff seeding and standing is played, everything will be normal. The NFL playoff system, as you know it, will remain normal, or maybe not as you know it, because remember, as Nate just noted, there's only one bye this year, and there's an added playoff team. But here's what happens. If we start to lose games that affect playoff seed, let's say you have a 9-6 team and then a 9-7 team because the 9-6 team didn't play their last game, how's that going to affect maybe the 6th seed getting in? Well, here's what the, or 7th seed, excuse me, here's what the NFL is doing today. They are voting to allow for an added playoff team in that case. So you'd have 8 playoff teams per conference. And now what also would happen would be, and pay attention to this, Seahawks and everybody else in the NFC West, if suddenly you are a wild card team, you will not necessarily have to travel. So it wouldn't be that NFC West going to face an NFC East team if they're the top wild card team, because then it would just be seeded. Top 4 would host games, bottom 4 would host games, and that would be your first round of the playoffs with no byes. That's what would happen if we start to lose games because of COVID. But the plan is, and the expectation is, that everything will be played on time, that there won't be a Week 18, and the NFL will continue to find ways to isolate positive COVID cases and not have this scenario come into place. But just to be safe and just to be sure, the NFL is voting on this today, and if it's passed, the contingency plan will allow for yet another playoff team. So it used to be 6, then it was 7, now it could be 8, but we'll see how it goes, Kay.
Eagles.
8, kind of basketball-ish. Does it carry the